What's up, guys, and welcome back. This will be the final update before I proceed along with my playthrough. Couple of things. I know a lot of people asked for a mod list, and frankly speaking, typing it all out seemed a bit laborious to me, so I thought I could just scroll down my Nexus Mod Manager mod list, and you can pause the video at your leisure, and then you can see what mods I'm using. Generally speaking, I'm using tons of texture mods and environmental change mods, and then of course some gameplay changes. Gameplay changes are probably in the minority, though it's mostly texture stuff, but I have other things as well, so just have a look. I do need to do some last minute ordering, but more or less it's ready to go. As I said, you can just pause at your leisure to see something, if it interests you or what have you. So you can see, there we go. Indeed, very close to my limit on mods that I can use. Kind of annoying, or plugins rather. But there you have it. Those are the mods. I've gotten my game to look, just in my personal opinion, pretty amazing. It looks very, very pretty, even without ENB. Dirty Weasel Media linked me to this guy who creates sweet effects presets, and it makes the game look spectacular with not too much FPS drop. I don't. Sometimes I'll have 60. Usually it's more like 50 or 45, 48, but that's fine. It just looks really, really nice, and I just can enjoy looking at Skyrim right now. And part of that led me to just make some dummy characters with the beast races. And with the mods I have installed, such as Cover Khajiit and Better Beast Races, man, I was able to make some very nice looking Argonians and Khajiit, very aesthetic looking, interesting looking ones. And it got me thinking, man, maybe I do want to play a beast race. Now, one thing, okay, as far as the survey was concerned, or is concerned, I did a lot of play testing of the different possibilities just to see how things worked out. The Souls Time thing, predictably, actually was too difficult, I think. It was too difficult to even get the gold to get off the island, get supplies, etc. It would be an interesting challenge if you were just playing on your own, but I think for a Let's Play, not so much. And then I thought further about it, and one thing about me you probably noticed by now is I don't like playing run-of-the-mill characters. And Dunmer Dark Elves, it's true, everyone plays a Dark Elf. They're almost as popular as Nords, or any human race for that matter. So I thought, no, that's also going to be a problem, because I just don't want to play something that everyone plays. So as far as elves were concerned, and the Bosmer and the Altmer were left, the vampire mod, Vampiric Thirst, is very interesting, but I think it's too taxing for a Let's Play. The reason being, you're constantly forced to drink blood. It is more challenging than Better Vampires. I don't have experience with it yet to say it's better than Better Vampires, but it's interesting. Certainly more interesting. It has a different twist. It's more demanding. Some of the penalties you experience, like 150% weakness to fire. I mean, that means fire will kill you instantly, even if you're a Dark Elf. So those kinds of things add up, and then thinking that I do play on Legendary with difficulty mod, so that makes it more challenging for me. That could make it difficult. I might end up doing a vampire playthrough on my own, and no one's reviewed Vampiric Thirst in a long time, and it's still being updated. I mean, last was updated, I think, November, so it's reasonably current. I might actually do a mod review of that, but I think I'll probably save that for my private playthrough, the Vampiric Thirst thing. As far as other things are concerned, yeah, I've taken on all the information, and like I said, I'm really, really tempted to play a beast race, man. I was able to make some really nice looking Khajiit and some really interesting looking Argonians. They look authentic. And to boot, Imperious Races, a mod I'm using, by the same author of Apocalypse Magic, and I'll get into that in a bit, he makes the racial bonuses really interesting. And they have trade-offs as well, but particularly the Beast Race ones, the Khajiit are a lot faster. They have the ability to leap. They feel like cats, like powerful, sleek cats. It's really nice. And the Argonians have some very interesting abilities as well, particularly just the Hist skin, the basic regeneration, I think is very useful. So yeah, you have to when you're playing on legendary as well as with difficulty mods, you have to consider what racials are going to be relevant as well and how they're going to benefit you. I mean, I was thinking about as far as an Argonian's concerned, that could be played as a warrior, a thief, because of the regen abilities, especially as a mage, that could be really useful too. Still considering Altmer, but yeah, once again, elves. I think beast races are the least popular for obvious reasons. They're not even vaguely human for the most part. But I do want to incorporate some of the elements that I mentioned. So the idea of someone who's an amnesiac, that could be well fitted into one of the alternate starts that I've play tested a bit. That's you're waylaid, you're left for dead. Perfect scenario. You wake up, don't know what's going on. Maybe there are enemies around. You have to get out of there. You can't really think straight, etc. That could be an interesting start, and it's really open ended. Of course, a lot of that would be sort of rediscovering, if I were to do that, what the character develops in terms of skills and what have you. So I'm kind of incorporating a lot of the ideas I mentioned before, but I'm narrowing down the list because I've tested the vampire out. It's just too demanding as far as the blood, and it's almost too punishing. I think it'll be fine for a private playthrough, but yeah, and Soul's Time is just too difficult. The bandit thing sounds a bit too generic, so it's really down to, at this point in time, the waylaid guy. I don't know what race he'll be, who just kind of got his. We don't even know what happened to him. His brains beaten in, and he's lucky to have survived. And he's an amnesiac or a naturalist. And as far as the naturalist is concerned, the amnesiac could go really anyway. It could be a wood elf, an Altmer, alternatively an Argonian or a Khajiit. And the naturalist is just definitely between an Argonian or a high elf. I'm just not really sure. So I did look at all the input. I've taken it all in, and the dark elf from Solstheim was so popular. I tried it a couple of times, and it just without just an insane amount of editing and just mucking things up, it's too difficult. I think for a relatively smooth Let's Play. I mean, it's fine to have obstacles and what have you, but you get my point. So it was a neat idea, just a little bit difficult to implement in practice. And one final thing is, I think most people seem to want magic, right? To have a character that's magic oriented, although I'm kind of open ended about either or. And I was going to use Forgotten Magic Redone. Unfortunately, that's not compatible with Percus, I realized when I was playtesting it. So I deleted that, downloaded Apocalypse instead, Apocalypse Magic. The same guy who makes Imperious Races, the Inai Sai guy. And man, I Apocalypse is an intimidating mod. It's one of the reasons I didn't use it previously. It's too many spells in some sense. And Forgotten Magic was just was a much cozier mod and more customizable. But I don't know, in any event, that's what has a Percus Maximus compatibility patch, so I thought I'd use it. If I do end up using a primarily magic using character, then that's going to be interesting, if only because there's so many spells and it's going to be overwhelming. So we'll have to see. But yeah, so it's going to be. I think it's going to look pretty, even in the recorded form. And your votes and commentaries helped me evaluate things. And things I did playtest, like the Dark Elf on Solstheim, didn't really work. The Vampire, whilst it seemed like a nice idea, constantly having to drink blood constantly, and I do mean constantly, with that mod, it's an interesting challenge, but I think something better suited for a private playthrough. And so yeah, I will not be playing a vampire, but a werewolf is still an option down the line. Who knows? And yeah, it's all interesting stuff to consider here. So the next time you see me, I will be in game. I will be my character, as it were, and I hope you guys ultimately accept whatever decision I make. I'll try to make the character interesting, even if it's a non-magic character or totally magic or whatever. So, as always, thanks for watching. Thanks very much for your input. I thought the commentary was very helpful, at least in the core ideas. I was able to flesh out some stuff. And yeah, hopefully, with any luck, the first playthrough will be up tomorrow, and we will proceed onwards. So, thanks for watching, and take care. Bye bye.